Welcome to Final Hospice Payment Rates and Wage Index Adjustment for FY 2023. The photo on the screen is of my wife Margaret and I on board a cruise ship. How am I qualified to address this topic? I started working for the Medicare program way back in 1976. I was a Medicare auditor, a CFO for several home health agencies, and have been in the consulting business. I've sat in all the chairs and have over 40 years of experience in healthcare. My company prepares Medicare cost reports for hospice and home health agencies for a flat fee as low as $16.95 with early bird discounts. We also provide educational seminars and webinars. Today, we will cover final hospice rules and payment rates for FY23. Our objectives: review the hospice payment rate changes for FY 2023, examine the changes in the hospice wage index, how to calculate your Medicare payment rates, and review of the hospice cap rate for 2023. Overall hospice payments increased by $825 million. The increase in the base payment rates by 3.8%. Hospices that do not report quality information are penalized by 2%, so their payments will be decreased by 2%. Hospices that do not report quality information will increase to 4% beginning in 2024. So basically, they're going to hammer you with an extra 2% if you don't turn in your quality data. Let's look at the base payment rate comparisons for 2023 compared to 2022. Your routine home care payment rate from day 1 to day 60 will be $211.34. Last year it was $203.40. That will increase $7.94. Routine home care payment rates for day 60 plus this year will be $167. Last year was $160.74. That will increase by $6.26. The continuous home care rate for 24 hours this year is $1,522.04. Last year was $1,462.52, or that's an increase of $59.52. The more important hourly rate for that is $63.42 for 23. Last year it was $60.94. It increased by $2.48. Inpatient respite care for 2023 is $492.10. Last year it was $473.75, or it increased $18.35. And general inpatient care this year is $1,110.76. Last year it was $1,068.28, so it increases by $42.48. Now, for hospices that do not submit quality data, the base rate for routine home care, day 1 to day 60, will be $207.27. For day 60 plus will be $163.78. The 24-hour continuous home care rate is $1,492.72. The hourly rate is $62.20. The inpatient care rate is $482.62. And the general inpatient rate is $1,089.36. Service intensity add-on payments. So you get an increase in the last 7 days of a patient's life if certain things happen. And to get that increase in payment for the last 7 days of a patient's life, the day is billed as routine home care. The day occurs during the last 7 days of a patient's life, and direct care is provided by an RN or a social worker in those last 7 days. And for those days, you will get the increase. The payment rate will be based on the following criteria. The payment would be in addition to the routine home care payment rate. The RN or social worker must provide the service directly in the patient's home. Telephone services will not apply. The rate will be based on the actual hours worked in the patient's home with a limit of 4 hours. The reimbursement rate is the current continuous home care rate. The unadjusted rate beginning in 10/1/22 was $63.42 per hour, or $62.20 an hour for hospices that do not submit quality data. Now let's look at the wage indexes. One thing that Medicare did is, and going forward, wage indexes change every year, and a lot of times there's some big swings in wage indexes. Well, they've decided that wage indexes from now going forward cannot go down more than 5% in 1 year. They can go up more than 5%, but not down more than 5%. And we can see the first two, and here with two areas were in Puerto Rico. We have an Arizona one, a Pennsylvania, Montana, Billings, Montana, and so on. These are the top ones that decrease starting at 5%. So nobody went down more than 5%. These are the only ones that went down 5%. Everybody else went down less than 5%. And we do have a few on here that are under 5%, but are pretty close. Racine, Wisconsin, Columbia, South Carolina, and Dayton, Kettering, Ohio. If you request the handouts for this webinar from Margaret, you will get all the wage indexes, and you can look up for the wage index for your particular area. We also have wage indexes that can increase. Now we can see that Elizabethtown, Fort Knox, Kentucky went up by 11.98%. So if you're in that area, you're going to get a big raise in your hospice payment rate. But I think last year the rate went down in that area. So these things, again, go back and forth. But you can see these are the biggest changes. Anything above 5% is on this page, and a few just slightly below 5%. Everything else, all the other wage indexes increases will be less than 5%. And again, if you're looking for your individual agency or your individual hospice adjustment, simply call Margaret and get the handouts for this. So we're going to calculate hospice payment rates by location. The first area, these first two that we're going to look at, are both going to be in Los Angeles. So the national rate for the routine home care day, day 1 through day 60, is $211.34. The wage component is 0.66. You multiply the 211.34 times the 0.66, and you get a wage component of $139.48. The Los Angeles wage index is 1.3218. You multiply that times the 139.48 to get the wage portion of their payment rate of 184.36. We take the national payment rate again of 211.34 times the non-wage component of 34%, and we get a non-wage component of 71.86. If you add the 184.36 plus a 71.86, you arrive at $256.22. So if you're in Los Angeles and you're a hospice and you submit quality data, the first 60 days of your routine home care rate, you will not get $211.34 per day. You will get $256.22. Same thing for the next days, day 61 plus. The 167 times the wage component gives you 110.22 times the 1.3218 gives you $145.69 as the adjusted wage component. The 167 times the non-wage percentage of 34% gives you $56.78. So if you're a hospice in Los Angeles and you do routine home care day 61 plus, you will not get 167, you will get 202.47. Now let's look at something that goes the other way, or a lower wage index. Continuous home care, 1522.04 times the wage component. Now this wage component, you notice, is different. 75.20, so that's $1,144.57. The Florida wage index is 0.8184 for the rural areas. So you multiply that times the 1,144.57 to arrive at $936.72 for your adjusted wage component. You take the national rate times the non-wage component of 24.8%, and you would arrive at a non-wage component of 377.47. You add the 377.47 to the adjusted wage component of 936.72 to arrive at $1,314.19. Divide that by 24 hours. So your continuous home care hourly rate in the state of Florida, if you're in a rural area, will be $54.76 an hour. Inpatient respite care, $492.10. Their wage component is 63.5. So that gives you a wage component rate of $312.48 times the Florida wage rate of $81.84. It gives you $255.73. Take the national rate times the non-wage component of 36.5% to give you the non-wage rate of that of 179.62. The total will be 255.73 plus the 179.62. Or so if you're in rural Florida and you do inpatient respite care, your daily rate will be $435.35. General inpatient care, $1,100.76. The wage component of that is 0.61 or $677.56. Times the Florida wage index, you'll have an adjusted wage component for the general inpatient care of $554.52. You take the national rate times the non-wage component to arrive at $433.20. You add that to the adjusted wage component of $554.52 to arrive at $987.72. Cost cap. The cost caps go up this year. Last year, the cost cap is $31,297.61. This year, it's $32,486.92. So the cap increases. Remember, if you're managing your cap, you really need to look at what your average length of stay is. If you have questions on cost caps, we actually prepare cost cap reports for providers on an annual basis. We also do some interim work for certain clients. So if you have questions about cost caps, remember, if you go over the cost cap, you have to give that money back. Thank you for attending this webinar. If you would like handouts for this webinar, just please email Margaret at dixonhsi.com, or you can email me, Richard at dixonhsi.com. If you've got any questions about this webinar, please email Richard at dixonhsi.com, or feel free to give me a call at 321-394-5722. I've enjoyed speaking with you today. Please call me anytime if you need help or just like to ask a question. For more information, please go to our website, www.dixonhsi.com. Again, thank you for attending.